The Joe Rogan Experience.
And a few other things. I got like hypnotized too before. Yeah.
Dude, who did it to you?
My friend Dominique, he has this like, I met him through one of the other UFC fighters, like Julian Marquez. I met him through him, and he's like, oh yeah, I do like hypnotism, all this stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. I've done it before. I did it in California. And, so I think 2 or 3 weeks prior to the fight, we had a few sessions a week where it just like helped me to really get that visualization clear, because we have so many thoughts all the time, right? And everything just like thoughts are constantly coming in, and to stay focused and to really like get the outcome that we, set our intention to, it's kind of hard with so many distractions. So
when you go into his office or wherever you do it, and you guys talk about it, do you set a goal before you start the session?
We do this thing called timeline therapy. So it's like I'm just kind of sitting there with my eyes closed, and we kind of just do this. We'll pick a subject, whether it's like, pain, fear, nervousness, something. We'll just pick a subject of feeling, whatever's going on. And it's kind of just like a visual timeline of like, where did this start? Where did it come from? What's the event? Whatever. And we kind of just talk about that for a while. And I just kind of dig to this place of where the nervousness is coming from, or where the fear is coming from, or whatever. I find a place on my timeline and I dig from it, whether it's in the future or the past, whatever. And then we get things clear, and then after that, he kind of guides me into this like hypnotism, which is really just like a really deep relaxation. If I wanted to open my eyes or something like that, I feel like I could, but I wanted to relax. I wanted this to help, I wanted my vision to be clear. So I did my best to just like surrender to the process. And I'd say it's not something where I woke up and I was like, oh yeah, my life has changed, but I can definitely remember the thoughts that I had, so that I can stay more on like in that lane of what I wanted. And in my hypnotism, I actually visualized not winning the fight, because I didn't want to strive too hard to win. Like, it's just something that I've been kind of studying. It's like the outcome is not really like the winning or losing. I don't want to base too much on that. I just want to put on like a great performance. So I visualized after one thing, like just having my hands in the air, seeing my brother smile, my coach's smile, and then slapping hands with the crowd on the way out. And then I was also like, and I want to see my win bonus and my show money. And these are the things that I wanted to see. These are the outcomes that I wanted. Not so much just I want to win the fight, but the things that I like, how I wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
And having that vision clear, it helped me. And so like everything that I visualized before that, it happened. I was like, cool, hands raised, slapped hands with everybody in the crowd the way out, signed both my checks. And that was the end of it for me until the next session, until I want to get clear on something else, It was cool.
Wow. So had you done anything like that before? Any mental coaching?
Yeah, before the Gokhan Saki fight, I did something very, very similar. Yeah, with another guy.
Was that the first time you'd ever done it?
First time doing hypnotism. Yeah, definitely. And my friend Matthias, he's here, and he's really good too. And he'll just like take some notes. You kind of just have a conversation in the beginning, and everything comes from your unconscious mind. It's not somebody telling you something. I just dumped out whatever my unconscious mind was telling me. He was just helping me to like relax, be at peace, and just listen to like my unconscious mind just unfold all of these kind of like hidden answers that we all have, So that's it.
Now, when you get hypnotized and you're thinking about a specific fight, do you think about specific things that you're trying to accomplish, things that you think you'll do to him that you'll have an advantage at, or strategy, or like how do you...
So those were thoughts that were happening before my hypnotism, but then all of those thoughts were coming from the anxiety or coming from the nervousness. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like, let's go back on the timeline to why you're feeling nervous. Yeah, like all these things are happening. You're anticipating all these things happening, and it's making you feel nervous. So let's go back to the nervousness and revisit that. Why? you know? And then I'm like, psh, psh, psh. My unconscious mind just like spewing things out. And then after the process of that mixed with the hypnotism, I'm not even thinking about, oh, I'm going to hit this arm drag or whatever. I'm thinking about having my conscious clear and my mind clear and everything so that I can get the expectation that like, or the visualization that I created. Yeah.
So have you tried different versions of that or different styles of hypnosis?
No, not that I can. I mean, I've done a lot of just like closed eye, like emotional intelligence type of like exercises, you know, like where I'm just like my eyes are closed and I have someone helping me visualize internally, you know, like just whether it's dreams or emotional pain or whatever it may be. Yeah, I've had people just like guided meditation almost, yeah. But the actual name, like hypnotism, I've only had it done by 2 people.
Well, when you're watching fighters, I think fighters are one of the most complex puzzles for psychologists because I think it's a super rare state. Like the rare state that someone gets to where they can be completely calm and see everything in the heat of a dangerous encounter with another trained fighter.
Yeah.
And when you're watching these things play out on TV and you oftentimes see how much anxiety plays a factor or doesn't play a factor, how much someone having the I don't give a fuck attitude for real, it can be a benefit and it can fuck you up sometimes too. And to see these complex psychological puzzles play out and see fighters struggle and then regroup, have a bad fight and come back better, all that stuff is like, it's really like a giant microscope on the human character, you know? And like a guy like you who comes back from that Johnny Walker fight and looks sensational against Eric Anders, man. It was like, that was one of those things where you're like, I like what I'm seeing. This guy, he figured some shit out, man. I mean, like that was incredible. It was really fun to watch, man. Yeah. As a guy who really loves Muay Thai, it was fun to watch.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's kind of the goal too going forward, is that I want to continue to like put on stuff like that, continue to learn Muay Thai, and then because that fight kind of raised the bar, right? People are like, oh man, this guy
for sure
kind of put me back on the map. So now I'm ready to just go back and, you know.
How many guys use mental coaches now, if you had to guess?
A good handful.
A good handful.
Yeah, a good handful. I think
Vinny
a lot of
Vinny Shorman, he hypnotized me, and he hypnotizes a lot of fighters.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was a trip. It was very strange. It was like, oh, this is real. It was like, it's a weird feeling, right?
How long ago was it?
It was the old studio, so it had to be at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. But he's a great mental coach, too, though. He knows like what's creeping around your subconscious, just waiting to pop up and play tricks on you. You know, you sure you put in enough rounds?
Where does he live?
He's a UK guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to get linked up with him.
Yeah.
I'm all about, I don't care, anybody. I'm like, yeah, like whatever you got.
Yeah.
Vinny Shorman, let's go.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I'll connect you guys.
Heck yeah.
I think it's probably one of the least trained aspects of fighting is the mental aspect of it. You know, you realize how good guys are just by watching them train. You see them spar, you see them do all these things. Oh, damn, this guy's fucking good. This guy's got great jiu-jitsu. This guy got great kickboxing.
You ever hear about the people that, like, they're sayings, right? Like, man, that guy's amazing in the gym, but when he shows up to fight, like, he just doesn't put on. Yeah. Like, I've been that guy multiple times, and, like, yeah, a lot of it has to do with mentally.
Yeah, that's almost like an unaddressed giant chunk of the puzzle, like a third of the puzzle. Like if it was a pie, a third is keep it together. you know, like you know when it's ready to go and now, and it's all happening. Don't freak out.
And you never like. Here's kind of something that I think about. You never know everybody's situation, right? So the day before the fight, we have weigh-ins, and then Dana comes back and like he gives us our speech, right? So everyone there, you don't know what life position they're in, you know. So it's like, hey, there's a potential we can get a bonus. So all those guys are affected emotionally somehow. Yeah. You know what I mean? Some guys maybe they don't care. Some guys maybe they do. But then like we walk out and then there's a crowd, 15,000 people sold out. Look around. We got Joe Rogan sitting here. We got Mick Maynard sitting. We got Dana White. We got everybody sitting around. And then like we're still human too. So we're thinking like this is kind of like a test. You know, it's like we got the whole board right here in front of me ready to take my test. You know, like it really depends on like there's so much that goes into it. Like mentally, you got to be prepared for a lot of things. Or some guys block it out, but it's just like anything else. It's
you
crazy.
had to know about halfway into the first round some special shit was happening though.
On this fight.
Yes.
After the first round, I was very happy. I sat down. My coaches were like, okay, this is good. You're doing this. And I was like, listen, I don't want to know what's good. What should I expect the next round? Like, I was ready to go. I told this straight to George. I'm like, dude, I don't care. What do I need to do next? What should I prepare for? And he's like, prepare for a little bit more pressure. He's probably going to try to shoot for the takedown in this round. I was like, okay, cool. So that I was just looking for that and using my tools to just prepare for that. But definitely midway through the second round, I was like, okay, like I know he's still got a lot of power, all this stuff, but I think that leg I should be able to, buy some time and take away a little bit of damage like coming at me. For sure.
I mean, he had to be in agony, and he never stopped coming.
Yeah.
I mean,
he didn't wince at all. Like even on the cage when I was just like when he was on the back and I was trying to kick his leg, his facial expression never changed.
He's a fucking savage, man.
It's crazy.
He's a bad man.
Respect that guy.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
Even before the fight,
now,
before and after.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I mean maybe even more so, man. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can take that, and to do it the way he did it with 100% of his character intact, never shirked, never shied away from it, kept moving forward. That's a dangerous person, and he's still getting better.
Oh yeah,
now, that guy's just getting better.
Oh yeah.
When you were doing, how much do you think the hypnosis helped you?
A really good amount, man.
How much different did you feel? Like in what way?
I felt more clear. I feel like a lot of times I can be just kind of like an anxious guy. I feel like I feel a lot of just energy, like kind of like I don't know. I go into a room and I'm just like So having the focus on having my intention set on what I wanted to happen was 70%. Like I'd owe 70% of like the hypnotism, all that stuff, to just help me to keep my thoughts on track. Something to fall back onto every single time. If I felt like I was getting distracted or getting nervous or whatever, I would remember, the things that we went over in the hypnotism. And so every time just kind of like hit that reset button or just a delete button on thoughts that I just didn't want to have or thoughts that would make me feel anything other than happy and ready to go.